I have patient Michael. Michael, thanks for joining us today. Michael came to us and he was having a lot of pain in the inside of his ankle over his what's called his posterior tibial tendon. But before he came to me, he was in a lot of pain in his foot. He'd seen some other doctors and he wasn't really getting anywhere, and he was kind of becoming a little desperate. Tell us what you did when you were having all that pain.
First I went to my podiatrist and asked if anything could be done, and he suggested physical therapy, and I went to PT for a few weeks, and I knew I wasn't hurting myself doing that, but I really wasn't getting any relief, and so I kept looking for more alternatives because it had gone from weeks into months.
And where did you go?
So I saw an ad on the TV or on the radio for the Good Feet store, and I thought, well, what do I have to lose? Because I was really desperate, I was in a lot of pain, and I just didn't know what to do anymore.
So Michael went, but this is not an uncommon story. There's a store, the Good Feet store, and they advertise, come here with foot pain. And basically what the Good Feet store is, they're selling off the shelf, what they call off-the-shelf orthotics. And this is an example of a Good Feet orthotic. And a Good Feet orthotic is just a generic, they have different varieties. This is one of them. They're kind of a flexible device, not specific to the patient's foot. It does contour to his foot to some extent, but it's not very specific. You can see that it's kind of overhanging. Come over here. You can see it's overhanging on his heel, not very well contoured to the foot. And, these cost a lot of money. I mean, how much money are we talking here?
I believe it was around $1,500.
$1,500. And at the end of the day, what were your results? That's more important.
I tried it for a few days. Things kept getting worse and worse. I tried to get a refund, but they made me sign all kinds of things that there was absolutely no refunds, which made me very nervous when I was doing it. But when you're desperate and you're in pain, you're willing to take a chance.
Right. So again, this is just an educational video, okay? I just want people to know what the difference is between going to a retail store versus coming to a doctor's office where we actually treat these conditions on a regular basis. Orthotics were not part of how we got Michael better. What we did was identified his tendinitis. We had him in a compression sock. We had him in a brace for a few weeks. And within a matter of weeks, how was your pain?
Oh, it's like 80% better.
Right.
Already. It's only been 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. So, and then he was in the brace for 2 or 3 weeks, and then we eventually transitioned him to a custom orthotic. And he's been wearing a custom foot orthotic now. So just for a reference, when he said 2 or 3 weeks, he was in that brace for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then we were transitioning him to his custom orthotic. And the difference between, what he was wearing there versus now, this is directly contoured to his arch. He's got a nice contoured arch, nice deep-seated heel cup. This is a semi-rigid to rigid material. This is not really flexing in the heel, okay? Whereas this device is totally flimsy and flexible in the heel. And when we control mechanics, we want to control it through the heel and the longitudinal arch. This does not flex, okay? So what that means is the foot is not moving and it's not pulling. And when the foot is pulling and moving, that's what's straining the posterior tibial tendon. How are you doing with the orthotics we made you?
Great. It just feels natural, and everything keeps improving, so I'm happy.
And you did not know this, but your insurance actually ended up paying for these. You didn't know that before you went to the Good Feet store.
No.
So Michael ended up actually having insurance coverage for orthotics. Now, not everybody doesn't have coverage for orthotics with their insurance, but oftentimes patients do. So the moral of the story is, if you're having foot and ankle pain, go see a podiatrist, come see me, come see my colleagues, get your foot evaluated. If you go to see one doctor and you're not getting anywhere, go to get a second opinion, okay? But try to avoid going to a retail store hoping for a best, especially spending a lot of money on something when the odds are it's not gonna fix your problem. If those things worked like they claimed, there wouldn't be doctors in business. So there's a reason we do what we do. We identify the problem. We fit people with a device that's specific to their foot. And unlike this, if this was not fitting him right, or if this was hurting him, we can fix it. We can remake it. We can remold it. And that's all included in the cost of the service. Michael, thank you for sharing your story. I am happy that we've been able to get you better. Listen, don't fret over this. It's only money. You can make more.
It's a lesson learned.
Lesson learned. Good to meet you.